Do you think if Calvin learned the concept of romance, he would feel different towards some people? I don't personally think he would, but that's just my personal read on him. I prefer to leave him open to interpretation. However, I just don't think that's something he would do anytime soon. It's just not something he knows or that he's interested in right now. Any development, it would have to be super, super far in the future. So it would not be very fitting to give an answer either way, yes or no. Even if I have my personal thought. Like when we get into like many years post-game, that's not something I would want to talk about. If it's more than 1 year post-game, that's not something I want to canonize. I think it's more fun to leave that kind of stuff open. Sorry, that's kind of like a non-answer because the question was about the far future, but I will not give any answers about the far future. That being said, I think what Calvin needs is a different kind of companionship. I think romance is kind of overrated as the ultimate companionship. I actually radically disagree with it when it comes to portraying it as that and as like the end goal of any character's like hero's journey. I've never liked that, actually. It's actually a bit of a turnoff for me whenever I'm reading a story or a piece of fiction or watching a movie or playing a game. And after the main guy's adventure is over, he gets the girl or the guy or whoever. And that's like a prize at the end of the trail. I've never liked that very much. I prefer an ending and like a post ending where he just lives his life surrounded by his friends. And when he passes, he's got a bedside that's just surrounded by people close to his age. That's how I feel. But that's just me. That's just my personal standards. And I would not be so cruel as to impose my personal standards on your fantasies. So you're free to imagine what you want, but I will say it is kind of in direct opposition to anything that I would give you an official answer for. So maybe, I guess, don't go looking for that answer from me, because you're not going to get one that you like if that's what you're interested in. I'm afraid. Sorry. That's just, I don't know. That's just how I feel. I've never liked the, because romance is awesome. Romance is awesome. Who knows? Maybe I will have a taste of it someday again. Maybe the day will come for me. And I have the mindset where it's not something that I personally want right now. And I may never. I don't know. I'm at a point in my life where I'd rather focus on, on my career, on you. If it came to pass that I lived the rest of my life and never felt something like that again or never experienced it, I wouldn't think that made my life less. I don't think it's something that I need. If that makes sense. The way I feel, I think the best life you can live is one where you have a good circle of people that you can rely on. And I like having multiple people in my life that are of equal importance. That's just me, though. This is not me trying to impose my standards on you. And so for Calvin, who is very much in a lot of ways, he is an extension of me. And he's especially an extension of the past me. Versions of me from when I was younger and less aware, less experienced as a person, I guess. It's I can't help but inject that feeling and that experience that I've had into my self-insert OC. Which is a funny way to put it, but it's exactly what it's like. But yeah, I hope that's reasonable. And if it's not, TBH, IDC. Because it's my life. And I am the captain of my ship. I think that's awesome. And I think I'm awesome. So, yeah. That's where I stand with that stuff. That being said, I love romance and fiction, and I think romance and fiction can be very nice. But if I want it, I'm usually going to look for it in a rom-com. You know what I mean? I get a little turned off when it's injected into something that is meant to be focused on other stuff, even though it is a very integral part of just the human experience in a lot of ways and throughout history. Maybe that's just me. Yeah, I'd rather watch a slice of life high school rom-com if I wanna get invested in a romance, rather than have it be injected into Lord of the Rings, for example. Because VCraft for me in a lot of ways was just like watching Lord of the Rings, or being in Lord of the Rings, I guess. Romance is better when the story isn't just romance. I guess that's true, and it can mean more when it's not the main focus, but for me, it has to be really tasteful, and it has to be really integral to the story from the very beginning for it to feel in place. But again, that's just my standard. My standard is not the standard. That's just what I like. I think if people did not like romance in all kinds of stories, it wouldn't show up in all kinds of stories. And the fact that it does tells me that a lot of people like it. So there's no shame, is what I mean to say. Yeah.